within the heart as being themselves, or to understand that, oh, this is who I'm meant to serve. This can take lifetimes, it can take hundreds, thousands, millions of lifetimes. It's a difficult process. Very few people can do it in this day and age. But the Bhakti Yoga process is very easy. Bhakti is the yoga of devotion. We can understand and appreciate Krishna not by thousands and thousands of lifetimes of difficult austerity and meditation, but by pleasing Krishna's transcendental senses. Krishna's name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, his associates. These are all non-different to Krishna himself and can be loved. Krishna's name, we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We chant that Hare Krishna mantra. That is not different to Krishna. Krishna's form, of course, is not different to Krishna. His qualities are not different. His pastimes are not different. His paraphernalia, all these things can remind us of Krishna and his associates. All these things remind us of Krishna. There are many ways he has been very kind to us in this world that can help us to understand him. For example, this book is Krishna. It's the words of Krishna. Krishna speaking, the Bhagavad Gita. This is Krishna. The mantra is Krishna. The deity is Krishna. These paintings, even on the top shelf there is Krishna. Some of these other paintings, Krishna. This is a manifestation of Krishna. Krishna can be worshipped in the deity form. It could be in marble, stone, can be in metal. Deities can be made of metal. Deities can be made of wood, just like Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra normally carved out of wood. Deities can be made of clay. Deities can be, the form of Krishna can be made of paint. And even if you don't have access to any of these, even in your own mind, the form of Krishna can manifest in your own mind. For those who have learned about Krishna, understand what he looks like, what he does, etc. Krishna's form will always be manifest in one's mind. So Krishna gives these remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. And he is approached through Bhakti Yoga. And in that Bhakti Yoga there are 9 processes: Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vananam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Sravanam is hearing, Kirtanam is chanting, Vishnu Sevanam, Vishnu Smaranam is remembering, Parasevanam, serving the lotus feet, Archanam is deity worship, Vandanam, offering prayers, poems or songs, words, Dasyam, serving Krishna as a servant, Sakyam, serving Krishna as a friend, Atmanavedanam, sacrificing everything for Krishna. 9 processes. The first 7 processes are for those of us who are learning to love Krishna. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, praying, worshipping the deity, acting as a servant. This is sadhana bhakti. As I said, we are followers of Bhakti Yoga, but there is sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti there are rules and regulations, prescriptions, prohibitions, which we are meant to follow. And by following these strictly, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, we can very quickly make progress toward becoming fully spiritually realized Krishna conscious persons. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. We sing that every morning in Sanskrit. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. So, this disciplic succession in which Srila Prabhupada appeared in gives us that opportunity to serve the spiritual master and receive the benediction of Krishna. Those last two processes, serving Krishna as a friend and sacrificing everything for Krishna, this is called Raga Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti, which is spontaneous devotional service that the highest elevated pure devotees act upon. They don't even need any longer to follow the rules and regulations because they are liberated souls, fully liberated, no longer bound by the laws of this material world. But first one must come to that point and not act upon it artificially. Otherwise it will only lead to pride. And pride only makes us sink further and faster in this material world. Just as a king might have a crown or his queen might have lots of jewellery, but if they're on a ship and it goes over, they'll sink faster than anyone due to their weight of their crown and their jewellery, their pride. This is an analogy of pride in this material world. Those who think they are super duper special sink faster in the material world than those who are humble. So Krishna has given us many things. This Bhagavad Gita, for example, is considered like a cow. Krishna is a cowherd boy, of course, as many of you know. And his father, Nanda Maharaj, has 800,000 cows. Krishna is a cowherd boy. Arjuna, this book is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, friend who became disciple and remained friend eternally. Arjuna is like a calf. Krishna is a cowherd boy. He is milking the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedic scriptures. The words of the scriptures are the milk. And it is given to all of us to enjoy, appreciate and learn from. This is another simple analogy. Otherwise, to become greedy in this material world for our own sense gratification is heading in the wrong direction. We can see that modern society, the more progressed we get materially, the more we forget our spiritual roots. And we can see that obviously happening in this world today, progressing materially, strongly, but losing its way spiritually. It's just a natural consequence. One might think, oh, such and such a civilization, or this civilization or that is primitive. But actually, even in the most so-called primitive societies, there will be belief in God, belief in superior beings, even it may be in the form of natural things like the thunder or the mountains or things like that. But there is belief in God in every traditional society. It's only in modern materialistic societies that belief in God is gone. Very unfortunate. So this Hare Krishna movement is meant to reawaken people to their true identity as a type of revolution in this misdirected world. A lot of work to do. It can happen in days, but unfortunately we're so foolish and so fallen that it may take a long, long time. It could happen in days. Krishna will help, that's the point. If we make an effort, Krishna will help. Otherwise we're just like the materialists, just like we have a couple of greedy doves that come to our house every day. I used to just feed them once a day with some sunflower seeds for breakfast, but then they started coming in the evening as well. And then they started coming at lunchtime as well. And then morning tea and afternoon tea and snacks. And it's like now they just sit on the fence waiting to be fed for the entire day. No longer thinking for themselves, no longer being naturally birds. So this can happen to us too in the material world if we become too comfortable with our ways of thinking in this material world. We'll forget that we are our spiritual identity, and we will lose our way.